I'm here in London. This is the home of the former queen, now the king. This is where we drink tea and, we dress like I do. And yet, I think 2 weeks ago, right near here in the city of London, where I used to work actually as a banker, um, three three guys were stabbed the other day in broad daylight as these kids tried to take a mobile phone from some banker walking down the street. And the latest thing is these kids jump on these electric bikes. So again, there's like no traces. They rent them. They go fast. They can go down alleys and get away from police. They wear ski masks and they grab these phones. And if people are either unaware or maybe stupid enough to fight back, you'll get stabbed. Stabbing's a big thing here because we don't have guns, I guess. And I mean, this, like I said, this happened, in broad daylight in kind of the Wall Street area with, businessmen in suits are getting stabbed for their phones. And everyone's thinking, what the hell's going on? And I'm wondering, like, for anybody in London that's listening or other major cities, what would be the first thing you say to people to try to avoid or be aware of these situations? And, is it happening, like I said, because people maybe aren't aware? And could it be prevented with a little more awareness, which is what you talk about?
Yeah, for sure. I think keeping your head on a swivel is key, and especially when you're walking down a street, because not only do you have the kids that might want to, what's called apple picking, right? Apple products are without a doubt targeted and have been for as long as the iPhone's been out, right? Apple pickings in major cities all over the world because it's really an expensive phone. And not anymore, but before you could just do a master reset on the thing and then take it to your cell phone, local mobile phone service provider, and they basically, put their SIM card in, and now you've got a phone that's yours. You didn't have to spend $1,000 on that thing. But now they're going to electronic, SIM cards. There are no more SIM cards anymore with the newer phones. So I don't know that the bad guys know that, right? It's not like you can go just switch it into your name and use it anymore. So I think that'll help once everyone knows and has a little bit of that knowledge and awareness that you can't just steal somebody's phone and then go make it yours anymore. It's going to be a whole lot more difficult. But yeah, as far as awareness, I mean, walking down the street, I always stay off your phone, right? Have that thing put away, because it's the people driving on their phones that you're going to be looking out for as a pedestrian to run you over. Especially if you're walking over bridges and any other channelized areas, you really got to have your wits about you, because that's a funnel in itself, and that's where bad guys like to attack. And that's the book concentrates solely on getting off the X. And the best way to get off the X is identifying them ahead of time and then going around them, right? So, those areas where there's high crime, or usually, the point from when you leave your residence and go to your vehicle, or when you leave work and go to your vehicle. I mean, these are all like your typical X's that are on the ground. And when I say X, that is the point in which bad guys feel they have the advantage. It's the point in which they're going to decide to attack you because they feel like they have the element of surprise, stealth, right, and speed. And because they have those three things on their side, they'll be more successful. So if you start looking around and going, hey, where's the X? What's the best place in my pattern of life for someone to attack me? Once you identify it, now the places where you have to be more aware, right? Because I tell people all the time, if you're trying to look at everything, you will see nothing, right? So you have to kind of sensitize your mind and calibrate it so that it's looking for the signs and symptoms of the very threats that exist where you live, right? And that way now I'm limiting it to just maybe these few things those signs and symptoms of certain threats. And you're going to be a lot more successful in your observation skills when you do that.
What about headphones? Keep them off?
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I love to run with music. I think everybody does. You can do adjustments now called hear through, right? So you can hear your music and you can hear the ambient outside environment. And I actually did a test with my daughter where, she had them in, and I ran up behind her, see if she could hear my feet coming, and she could. So, the technology is now caught up to those safety tips, right? Because before it's like, no, don't have anything in your ears, or at a minimum, have one out, right? Left or right ear. Make sure it's your good ear that's actually, listening for what's coming up behind you. But now the technology's gotten smarter, and you can legitimately listen to music and hear what's going on around you. But I would still factor the side of don't put anything in your ears. Let's face it. Anytime you're putting anything, an obstruction in your ear, regardless of hear through technology, you're still making yourself vulnerable.
Right. So don't put it in your ears. Don't be on your phone.
Yeah.
The problem is that most people are doing both of those things, and they're so situationally unaware. I mean, you talked about drivers. I mean, they've done tests, and drivers that texting is like worse than drunk driving. Like you're so impaired of your awareness, right?
Yeah, I think people underestimate. It's distracted driving. I mean, it is way worse than being intoxicated. Because you're literally your mind, your eyes, all of your senses are focused into one spot in the cockpit of your vehicle. So at least when you're substance impaired, your senses are still trying to work and still trying to see what's going on out in front of you, right? But when you're looking at your phone, your hand, your thumb trying to type, all the audibles you're listening for, all of your senses are taken away, and all it takes is that split second. Obviously, a good day goes bad real quick.
Hey, it's Brian Rose, founder of the DeFi Academy. I've told you my 4-week crypto bootcamp is amazing, but don't take my word for it. This is what my students are saying.
The DeFi Academy was an amazing experience for me. It took me totally out of my comfort zone.
In this course, I was challenged, I was held accountable, and pushed to do things that honestly weren't always easy.
It's been phenomenal, and I can't believe we're already up on our 4 weeks. It has flown by.
Going through this DeFi accelerator by far was one of the best courses I've taken.
You do this course, you really get into the nitty-gritty of the activities that will make you comfortable with decentralized finance.
Thank you so much to Brian and everyone at London Real and the DeFi Academy for even putting together an amazing course like this.
Anybody else that wants to do it, please sign up. It is well worth the money.